All right, today we're going to walk through the entire journey of a professional on the APP Pro platform. We're talking about going from a traditional notary to what they call a fiduciary executive. It's a pretty big shift, so let's dive right in. So, what if your legal expertise could guarantee you a stable salary right from day one? I mean, if you've ever been a freelancer or worked gig to gig, you know exactly what a big deal that is. That inconsistency, it's a huge pain point, and that's precisely the problem this system is built to tackle, right out of the gate. Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at this new fiduciary role, then the application process, how you start earning your base pay, what it's like to actually execute a task, and of course, how verification and payouts work. We'll wrap it up with the final proof of work. Simple as that. All right, Section 1, a new fiduciary role. So what is this new role, really? Well, you can think of it as a total evolution of the old way of doing things. We're moving away from that unpredictable gig work and into something much more stable, a foundational role within the system.
And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? It's like a before and after picture. On one side, you've got the traditional notary life, unpredictable work, constantly chasing payments, doing a lot of basic clerical stuff. But on the other side, as a fiduciary executive, the whole game changes. You get a stable salary, you're doing really important foundational trust work, and the payouts, totally automated. You're not just a service provider anymore, you're literally part of the system's core infrastructure.
So, you might be asking, how do I actually make that jump? Well, let's get into the nitty-gritty of the application process.
You know, the whole process is designed to be super simple. You just start at their Operator Education Center. All you need is your commission number and its expiration date. That's it to get started. Next, you'll go through some educational materials, basically to show you know your stuff. Once you're vetted, you get a formal employment offer, you sign it, and then this is the cool part. That contract gets legally anchored into the ecosystem. That's what officially makes you an operator and lets the work start coming your way.
And here's the tangible result of that simple process. We're talking real, stable base salaries. For a notary operator, you're looking at a base of $50,000 a year, and for the more senior role, the Lex Node operator, and we'll get more into what they do in a bit, that jumps up to $250,000 a year. Pretty significant. Okay, on to earning your base draw. This is maybe the most important part. How in the world do you start earning that salary from day one? You know, without just sitting around waiting for a client to show up. That's the classic freelancer's dilemma, right? Well, this is where the platform gets really clever.
They call it the Option B labor engine, and the idea is just brilliant. Instead of paying you to sit on your hands, they pay you to help build the foundation of the system. So you're earning that salary right away by doing essential internal work that actually makes the whole ecosystem more valuable.
So what kind of work are we talking about? This is absolutely not busy work. It's real, valuable, legal economic labor. You're doing things like providing jurat and attestation for historical Ethereum journal entries. What you're really doing is taking all this raw crypto data and transforming it into a regulated, auditable history. You're literally manufacturing the high-quality compliance data that the platform needs for its own tax and credit models down the road.
Yeah, you are converting raw crypto activity into regulated, attestable economic history. I mean, that quote just nails it. It's not just about getting you paid, it's about creating real value for the network from the second you start. It perfectly aligns everyone's interests right from the jump. Okay, so now you're earning your base salary doing that foundational Option B work. But what happens when an actual client task comes in? Let's walk through how you execute a typical trust task. So, everything that happens on the platform happens inside what's called an active case. The best way to think about it is like a high-tech, super secure digital briefcase for every single job. It's a legal container, which means that every single thing you do, every file you upload, every signature, automatically gets a full audit trail and has dispute controls built right in. And when you're working inside that active case, it's all very structured to help you succeed. First, a work routing agent makes sure you only ever get tasks that you're actually authorized to do in your jurisdiction. No guesswork. You just follow a simple step-by-step checklist. And here's a key rule. The system won't even let you mark a task as complete until all the required evidence is in place. Once you've checked all the boxes, another agent swoops in and bundles everything up into a secure, immutable evidence packet.
All right, the evidence is all bundled up. Now we move on to the final stages, verification and, the part everyone's waiting for, the payout.
And this is where that Lex Node operator role we mentioned earlier becomes so critical. Think of them as the final layer of human oversight. It's a crucial dual control system. Their job isn't to redo your work, it's to review the finished packet and make sure everything is compliant and the integrity is there. And they have real authority. If they spot a problem, they can hit pause on the whole thing.
But once that Lex node operator gives it the thumbs up, bam, the system's auto-split logic fires off instantly. And here's the best part, the money just flows. The notary operator who did the work gets the biggest piece of the pie, a full 45%. The Lex node gets 20%, and the rest goes to the platform and others. The key takeaway? No invoices. No chasing clients for payment. It is completely automated.
So the work's done, you've been paid, but we're not quite finished. The system produces one last incredibly important thing.
It's called a tokenized trust receipt, or a TTR. Now, this is not a cryptocurrency, okay? It's a special, non-transferable token, what some people call a soul-bound token. Its one and only job is to be the final, unforgeable, digital proof that a legal act was performed lawfully, that it was verified, and that it was recorded.
Prima facie evidence that the act was lawfully performed and recorded. This is huge. Prima facie is just a legal way of saying that it's accepted as fact unless someone can prove it's not. So this TTR is an incredibly powerful receipt that you could show to a court or an auditor to prove, without a doubt, exactly what happened.
So let's just run through that whole life cycle one more time. You apply, you sign your contract for a stable salary, and you start earning right away with that valuable Option B work. Then you execute tasks, a node operator verifies your work, and you get your 45% cut all automatically. The entire system from top to bottom is built for stability, trust, and most importantly, proof.
And that brings us to this final, really powerful idea. We don't tokenize assets, we tokenize proof. Think about that. This isn't about creating another coin to trade. It's about creating a bulletproof digital record that something truly happened. It's about taking the abstract idea of proof and making it a tangible thing. Pretty cool, right? Thanks for watching.